Thank you. Hello and welcome to the Insurance Apprentice Season 8. I'm your host, Simon Coleman from SHA. From over 50 contestants, we are now down to 6. In the previous episodes, we've seen tensions rise, ruthless eliminations, victorious celebrations, and lots of mics muted, all in the search for this year's ambassador of the South African short-term insurance industry. At this stage of the game, the competition is extremely tough, as we'll only be taking a limited number of contestants into this season's finale. May the best of the best prevail. This episode is brought to you by Marsh, a global insurance broker and risk advisor that provides industry-focused brokerage, consulting, and claims advocacy services to their clients. This week's questions have been put together by Marsh and will challenge the contestants' knowledge and understanding of insurance. Let's welcome our top 6 contestants. Welcome back.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Hi, Simon.
Molatelo,
Hello, Simon.
I love what you're wearing today. Who are you wearing?
No, this is 4. Like, we are considering the environment. I want to be on Marsh's good side. I'm considering the environment.
Molatelo, you said parrot on site because I talk so much and I just love people.
I really do.
Do you love your fellow competitors?
I'm having so much fun with them and I've learned so much from them. So, yes.
Masichaba, are you feeling excited?
No, I'm like close to death.
I must tell you, I'm just loving how dramatically different your hairstyle is each week.
Yes.
Just behind you on your left-hand side, that looks like a boerewors roll.
Yes.
Is that your mascot? Just in case you need an energy boost.
Badly placed. I didn't know that side was showing.
Okay. Oh, that's brilliant. All right, Masichava, good luck. Wayne, how's it?
Hey, Simon, good and you?
Good, thanks. You're the only man left standing in this competition.
I really don't know what to make of it. I'm proud, but I do feel like a lamb to the slaughter, to be honest.
Yeah, you're surrounded, man. You better hope nothing comes down to a vote today.
No, they won't do that.
All right, excellent. Good luck, Wayne. Christelle.
Hi, Simon.
It's just so much fun for me to keep talking about your hobby. And I'm not talking about the fishing. I'm talking about serial killers.
Yes.
Tell me something. Do you have a favorite?
No, who has a favorite serial killer?
I thought you might. I don't know.
No, I don't. I don't admire their work, if that's what you're moving towards. No.
Oh, you're just interested in it. You've got a morbid sense of curiosity.
That is exactly it.
All right, well, good luck. And last but not least, Nao.
Yes, Simon.
It's almost like the way you answered me there, hi, Simon. It's like you are already expecting to be eliminated today. I mean,
I'm expecting a jab. No, I'm expecting a jab from you.
Oh, a jab.
Yes.
Have you been exposed to any of the content that you've been privy to from Marsh?
Nothing.
Okay, so this is like greenfield, scary stuff for you.
Yep.
Okay, well, you did say in your profile, you said to be old and wise, you have to be?
You need to be young and stupid.
Are you fulfilling any of that right now?
I'm sort of in between now.
You're in between young and stupid and old and wise?
Yes.
Well, you'll definitely be older and wiser after this competition.
I believe so.
All right. With that, let's get into Rapid Risk. In Rapid Risk, our contestants will be asked 10 multiple choice questions. For every correct answer, they will be awarded 6 points, which will move them up the leaderboard. The first person to answer correctly scores 4 additional bonus points. The contestant with the lowest score will be eliminated from the competition. Contestants, are you ready?
Yeah.
Ready, Simon?
Let's go.
All right, your first question. What are the most common business risks associated with climate change? Is it A, physical, transition, reputational? B, physical, transcendental and political? C, physical, transformational and reputational? Or D, political, transition and reputational? Only one correct answer. Only 2 of you got that right. The answer was A, physical, transition and reputational. Those bonus points going to Wayne. Well done, Wayne.
Thank you. Off to a good start.
Yeah, that's an encouraging start from you. Molatelo,
No, please don't pick me today.
you chose option B, which was physical, transcendental and political. I can imagine that meditating on business risks associated with climate change might bring about some answers. Perhaps being one with the universe.
I have no excuse, Simon. I don't have any excuses. I've got no comeback.
Okay, well, you can meditate on it as we move into the next question. All right, next question. What does the S in ESG stand for? Is it A, societal, B, social, C, sustainability, or D, staggered? Get those answers in. All of you got that correct. The correct answer being B, social, but the bonus points going to Lerato. Well done, Lerato.
Thanks, Simon.
I think in these rounds definitely helps to be fastest finger first, because there's a much higher probability that everybody's going to get the question right.
Yeah.
Well done. Next question. How many UN Sustainability Development Goals exist? Is it A, 12, B, 15, C, 17, or D, 24? Get those answers in. The correct answer was C, 17. 4 of you got that correct. And the bonus points going to Wayne once again.
Let's go.
Wayne, you are not going down without a fight here.
No, I'm going to show my teeth.
All right, well done. Next question. What percentage of SA's energy is currently produced by renewable energy? Is it A, 1%, B, 11%, C, 98%, or D, 31%? Remember, those bonus points could be critical at this stage of the game. Get those answers in quickly. Only 3 correct answers, the correct one being B, 11%. And the bonus points, once again, going to Wayne. Wayne, if there's renewable energy, you've definitely got it in this episode. Well done.
It's peaking at the right time, Simon.
Yeah. You've something sustainable happening here. Nao. Hi, Nao.
Hi, Simon.
What percentage of SA's energy did you say was produced by renewable energy?
I chose 98.
Wow! That would be unbelievable.
I know, right?
Did you do that in error, or is it just kind of wishful thinking?
No, it was more wishful thinking.
You wish that we were producing 98% of our energy.
I wish.
All right, next question. Which of these is not a UN Sustainability Development Goal? Is it A, life below water, B, affordable and clean energy, C, climate action, or D, reliable transport? Your time is up. The correct answer was D, reliable transport. 4 of you got that correct. And the bonus points going to Neo. Well done, Neo. Redeeming yourself. 98% chance. Let's take a look at that leaderboard. We're halfway through the round. In first place, well ahead of the rest of the team, we've got Wayne at 42 points. In second place, we've got Christelle at 24. In third place, Neo with 22. In fourth place, Molatelo with 18. And in fifth place with 16, Lerato. And in last place with just 12 points, we've got Masechaba. Masechaba, what's happening there?
Hey, this feels like deja vu.
You know what they say, it's deja vu when you've seen this shit before. What happened? You were just kind of cruising through and you, up to now in the competition. Rapid risk has been your thing.
I know. I'm just never good with stats. So if you're going to give me numbers and 11% and...
Wait. Don't you do business interruption loss adjusting?
Yes, but it doesn't include stats.
Aren't there numbers involved in calculating the loss of revenue? And
There are numbers, but they're not statistical. They're actual. Like, statistics just don't agree with me.
Okay. Well, there's a distinct probability that you're going home today.
Oof, we need to fix that.
Lerato, you are the other surprise here. You've also generally found yourself in the upper part of the table. Today, you're second from bottom, only a couple of points ahead of Masechaba. What's going on there?
I don't know. I think it's the nerves. It's not a nice place to be.
Just so the audience understands though, this information was provided to all of you, so you have had time to study it. If you're sitting at home going, well, of course, who's expected to know these things? This information was provided to all of the candidates today, so perhaps you just didn't study the material, right? Anyway, moving on. Next question. Companies failing to adapt to risk factors relating to climate change could lead to litigation. What coverage can be purchased to insure this risk? Is it A, third-party liability, B, property damage, C, crime, or D, directors and officers cover? Get those answers in. And the correct answer was D, D&O, or directors and officers cover. 3 of you got that answer right. Wayne is just putting the boot in here, even though some of your teammates would probably have needed them a little more. You can do an evil laugh if you like.
I'll work on it.
Okay, well done. Let's move on to the next question. What was the international investment pledge during COP26 to South Africa to accelerate the transition? Was it A, $25 million, B, $8.5 billion, C, $150 million, or D, $12.5 billion? Get those answers in. The correct answer was B, $8.5 billion. And the fastest response at that critical time, Masechaba.
I said it's the statistics.
I'm telling you what, it's that unlucky Boerewors roll in the background. It's not helping you.
Let me move my food. It seems to be offending.
Food is unlucky in this context. All right, next question. Which industries are impacted by the energy transition? Is it A, mining, B, energy and power, C, financial institutions, or D, all of the above? Get those answers in. 6 correct answers, and the correct answer was D, and the bonus points going to Masechaba. I'm telling you, since you moved the unlucky Boerie roll, everything is going your way. Huh?
Maybe now that I can see it, it's giving me some satisfaction.
It's inspiring you now that you can see it. Now that I can't see it, I'm feeling like I've lost something. All right, well done. All of you got that correct though. Next question. What was the number one risk identified as the most severe risk over the next 10 years in the Global Risks Report? Was it A, natural resource crisis, B, mergers and acquisitions, C, debt crisis, or D, climate change? Only one of those answers is correct. 4 of you got it right. The correct answer was, of course, D, climate change. Those bonus points once again going to Masechaba. Masechaba, I have to tell you, it is quite something to see someone going from fast asleep to wide awake so quickly.
I was on power saving mode, so someone needed to just click on the button. So hearing you right at the bottom was like, wake up!
No, I'm telling you, it's quite something to see from where I'm sitting. All right, it's not looking good for some of our team members there. Very, very close scores at the bottom. 3 of our competitors all within a point of each other. I'm not going to tell you who they are right now. This is the last and final question of Rapid Risk. When has South Africa committed to achieve net zero by? Is it A, 2028, B, 2035, C, 2050, or D, 2023? Only one answer can be correct.
No!
The correct answer was C, by 2050. Only 2 of you got that correct. And the fastest correct answer, once again, Masechaba.
Hey!
That is what we would commonly call the big finish. When it counted, you brought it out. Well done, Masechaba.
Thank you.
Molatelo, that was the last question, and it looked like you decided not to put in an answer. Was that a good strategy?
As I was putting in an answer, which would have been a lucky guess, it locked. So I'm just about to break down right now.
This time, we are not going to take a look at the leaderboard. But I can tell you that in first place, we have Wayne. This is the point at which we would normally eliminate the lowest score. Today, we're going to do things a little differently, given that we only have 6 contestants left. If we eliminate someone now, one team will only have 2 members. Now, it could be argued that having a team with 2 participants is an advantage, given that more time can be used to present. Although this is the Marsh task, which we know needs a lot more reading and analysis, and a bigger team could be useful. I couldn't decide this as a judge, so I'm actually leaving the decision to the winner of Rapid Risk. Wayne, you need to tell me if you would like to eliminate the lowest scoring contestant right now. If you choose to eliminate someone now, you will automatically be in the smaller team, the 2-member team. If not, the teams will be even and we move on. What is your decision?
I choose to eliminate someone now, Simon.
You choose to eliminate someone.
Yes, now.
All right, contestants, Wayne has spoken and has decided that the next person to leave the competition is Lerato. Lerato, we're in the business of risk transfer. Unfortunately, you've been unable to manage your exposure, and at the most critical of times, you've been left without any protection. This is a loss that you must carry alone. Goodbye. Masichaba,
Yebo.
if you'd been the winner, because you were in second place, would you have eliminated Lerato?
No.
You wouldn't have.
Mother Teresa.
Wayne? What was your thinking? I mean, you obviously had a strategy there.
Yes, Simon, my thinking was that at the end of the episode, 2 people will then be eliminated and both of them might come from the same team. So I'd rather take my chances and work closely with someone as opposed to taking a chance and being involved in a losing team and also having the risk of going home.
All right, decision made, and we respect that. After the break, the battle continues for those last spots in the finale.
A global leader in insurance broking and innovative risk solutions, Marsh provides personal and business insurance solutions to protect our clients' businesses for future growth while offering lasting peace of mind.
All right, welcome back. I'm now joined by our guest judge for this week, the Managing Director of Marsh Specialty Africa, Shivan Hutton. Welcome, Shivan.
Thanks, Simon. Pleasure to be here.
I know you're relatively new to our shores here in South Africa. When did you arrive?
Just over 9 months ago, once the visas got organised and finalised. But it's been a pleasure to be here in South Africa for 9 months. It's a wonderful country.
Ah, fantastic. Well, good to have you in the country and of course here on the Insurance Apprentice. We always look forward to that Marsh task.
It's not an easy one today. It's going to be fun, and the contestants have a lot of things to think about and go through.
And speaking of not being easy, over to you, Nox Dlamini, my fellow judge.
Hello, Simon.
Good to have you back, Cruella.
Dread.
And with that, it's time for premium presentation. In premium presentation, the contestants are divided into 2 groups. They received info packs earlier this morning, and now, following a brief from our episode sponsor, each team will be given 5 minutes in a private breakaway room to construct a spot presentation using their collaborative insurance expertise. Each team will have 4 minutes to present, which must be equally divided amongst all contestants. If the team's presentation is poor or deviates from the brief, the judges may hit the buzzer at any time. But the contestants must continue. If a team gets 3 buzzers, they will have to stop their presentation immediately. After each presentation, the teams will receive the feedback from the judges. We will then deliberate amongst ourselves and decide on the losing team, whereafter the weakest link will be sent packing. I will now hand over to our guest judge, Shivan, for this week's presentation brief.
Thanks, Simon. So, contestants, your task is to support your client, a private equity firm that has years of experience in investing sustainably. Your client has raised funds to invest in sustainable infrastructure in emerging economies to promote a successful energy transition. They've identified a potential target company to invest in, a renewable energy firm with assets across Southern Africa. As a sustainable investor, it is important to your client that the target acquisition has a good environmental, social, and governance profile. Contestants, your task is to review the information available to you and provide a high-level review to your client of any red flags. There are at least 5 of them for you to look out for. You also need to provide a high-level premium estimation, and you have to comment on the ESG profile of the target as well. A piece of advice from me: the winning team will be the team that provides the best advice to the client. And to do that, there's 2 things you need to do. 1, collaborate, because you have a lot of information to get through. And 2, and very crucially, pay attention to detail. Good luck.
Thank you, Shivan. Just want to, I guess if I could depict myself as an emoji right now, thinking about that task, it would be the head exploding. I can only imagine how you're feeling right now, contestants. That is very challenging. Wayne, I think you would have heard the word collaborative there, so you might be regretting your decision of only having 2 members in your team. But now that you've heard the brief, you will be split into teams as follows. We've got Wayne and Molatelo in Team A, and in Team B, we'll have Masichaba, Christelle, and Nao. Your prep time starts now. Shivan, I mean, this is, wherever you go, ESG is kind of on the agenda, environmental issues. What made you choose this task, though, at Marsh? We've come to expect challenging and cutting-edge tasks from Marsh, and this one is no different. Is this based on a real-life example?
This is a real-life example that we were going through towards the end of last year, and very similar to this, we get kind of 400 documents put on an online platform for us to go back and give them a red flag review, including an ESG review.
Let's talk about them. What are the red flags? What have you found?
Okay. So the first red flag is on wind farm number 2.
Okay. What's going on there?
Okay, so Section C, political violence, is covered that they do not have, although the other 2 wind farms have that.
So the cost would obviously then be in the premium.
Yes. I actually saw something about the premium just now, and I just can't remember on which page it was.
We don't have any competitors here today that I think have been exposed to this type of
I do not think so. So it's going to be quite interesting how they handle it.
Yeah. Generally, you've got people working in quite traditional insurance roles. This is actually often the problem, or the challenge rather, with the Marsh task, because it's never just about insurance.
No political violence, no Section C and no Section D cover.
Okay, so must I say what? I'm not sure I'm understanding you there.
Shouldn't we say something on the red flag report about the negatives of the ESG score? Because that is also a red flag.
I hope we've got them. We can think as we're going through if there's anything else that pops up.
Wayne made that decision quite quickly that he wanted to be in a team of just 2 people.
Yeah.
Wise decision?
Scary decision, I think.
Brave, yeah.
Brave decision.
The thing is, there's a lot of information.
There is.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Can I give you control and you control it? Because I don't know what you need me to write down.
Oh my word.
Go back to the presentation.
Okay.
What did you say? Climate change.
Listen, high risk, high reward. So it could work out very well for him, but there's a way that it could go horribly wrong as well. The spotlight is on him. It's a content-rich task, and we're going to have more chance to really interrogate.
Wayne, I think we're gonna be out of time.
This is tough, eh?
Nervous as hell.
I'm also very nervous. Yeah.
I mean, it can't
get any worse, Christelle. You've made it this far. So relax.
Do we want to add anything else? Let's just wing it.
All right, welcome back. Team A, your prep time is up and your presentation time starts now.
All right, great. So the company had an overall ESG score of about 6.7 out of 10. A risk rating, we're going to look at each of the risk rating components. We're going to look at the positives first. So mainly they put the community and social, they rated well. And obviously that's because of 90% of the local of their employees are from the community. Also looked at the impact of why their their, where is it? Healthcare, their community and social was good again, was also about how they upskill the community and educate them to create long-term opportunities. Their supply chains and clients and customer services weren't great. Governance strategy, as well as employment and wealth generation weren't so awesome. So we looked at a few risks associated with renewable energy, and we spoke about political risks, legal factors, technological, because of the machinery that is always needed. We looked at economic reputation, and obviously the financial risks, which would be tariffs and costs associated to the tariffs. Generally, there are a lot of risks associated with renewable energy. And I'm going to let my colleague Wayne speak to the insurance part of it.
Thank you, Monatello. Good day, board. When going through the insurance policy, we believe we picked up on some parts or some issues of it that we would like to bring to your attention. First and foremost, that on wind farm number 2, found that there was no cover for the political violence, which was a threat that was identified during the risk survey. There's also security in place on the premises to guard against it, but there's no cover for it. We also found that there was no Section D, no third-party liability cover on that area. We also found that Wind Farm 2 has the highest operational property limit with the lowest business interruption cover as well. Some other areas we found during the premium computation with the current insurer, which starts at for 1 million, which starts at 0.07% and then escalates as the amounts go up. We find that, in our opinion, normal risk carriers would decrease going up in amount. So that's something we might look at as opposed to getting different insurance quotations. We also worked out Farm 2. There was a loss of 2.4 million rand that almost computes with our premium, which would put us in the region of I believe 60%, if I did my calculations correctly, and that's one of the areas where we might lose out on the 10% discount going forward. Can you pass to the next slide, please? So some of the with the acquisition is the low scores on the governance part of the ESG report. That might include, we can look at fixes in the future, such as board diversification, getting more inclusivity and more representation across the board there. And then also one of the red flags for us for sustainable or for new renewable energy source is reputational damage. As a insurer such as this, as a risk such as this is constantly under environmental scrutiny. Thank you very much for the time.
Shivan, I think I'll hand over to you for some questions or anything you picked up.
Thanks, Simon. So contestants, Wayne, Monatello, what was the rationale for thinking about the lack of third-party liability cover?
During the report during the risk assessment report, there was a mention of the security and the turnover, the hourly turnovers, and it specifically spoke about the security is in place there to avoid any riot or strike, and that was their focus.
I'm talking about the third-party liability cover, not the political violence.
Oh, yeah. The third-party liability cover, the focus was only there due to it was a moderate risk. It was only mentioned due to the fact that it was missing. Obviously, if there's a moderate risk and all the other plants have it, we thought it would be best to include it in this one as well.
But you didn't see that in the review of the policy documents?
I didn't. That was my oversight.
I think it was there. If you keep looking down on the page, you'll see policy 2. Oh. Maybe this is where 3 contestants would have been better than 2, I guess.
I guess so. That's my oversight. I have to stand by that. I have to take it.
Can we come back to Molatelo?
Yeah.
You were just talking us through some of those ESG issues. You'd highlighted that, I think you said the score was 6.7.
Yeah.
Is that classified as a low score?
Yeah, it's not a great score. So I think that a thing to take into consideration is that when a company is more adherent to ESG, then it is definitely low risk and more resilient. It can survive, a lot of risks a bit more. So it's lower risk and it would definitely be resilient.
You'd suggested some kind of, I don't know if we could call it remedial action, but you spoke about board diversification being something that could help the ESG scoring.
So we didn't get into detail because of time, and I took Wayne's point. So yeah, I think it's such a coward thing, but I don't want to. I know it was Wayne's idea, and I was in support of my team.
Okay, let's get Wayne in here to fill in the blanks then.
Some of the key areas where the company scored low was specifically on the governance side, with regards to inclusivity, supply chain, as well as areas such as interaction and customer interaction. So we looked at some fast remedial situations where we took from other companies who diversified their board and is proud of it, and that is remedial action that we can take as an equity firm, as a private equity firm upon acquisition. Afterwards, we can look at cleaning up the corporate, the governance side.
So you'd recommend proceeding with the investment with those conditions?
Yes, ma'am, I would.
So there were 3 kind of requests to come back to in terms of when your presentation back, the red flags, a commentary around the ESG, and then an estimate of the cost that you anticipate this target acquisition to have in terms of premium. Were you able to get an answer to that? A rough estimate?
Unfortunately, no. We didn't get around to the premium part.
I don't have any more questions. Do you, Knox?
I was just interested. I mean, considering the prospects of expanding to new territories, are you guys not worried about that governance score?
Yes, we are, ma'am. That's why we suggested remedial action. Being in the spotlight of, I want to say, environmentalists as a renewable energy source, we need to get the ESG score up to be sustainable going forward. Otherwise, there can be reputational damage going forward.
All right, thanks for your presentation. Team B, your prep time is over and your presentation time starts now.
Good day, judges. My name is Christelle, and today we will be taking you through the ESG scoring of the proposed investment. So the overall ESG scoring review, the score was good. We had a look at the positives and negatives, and I'm going to highlight them for you now. Climate change was one of the positives. Community and social vitality. Pollution, there was minimal to no smoke emissions. Skills for the future was also one of the positives that we noted. On the negative side, though, we saw that the supply chain was rated low, governance strategy extremely low, and resource availability also low. I'm now going to hand over to Masachaba, who will talk about the benefits of the existing insurances for us.
Thank you, Christelle. The first thing that we noted in our analysis of the insurance that the entity already has is that it did not adhere to the investor's requirements in the following manners. There was no political cover taken for Windmill Farm 2. The business interruption cover across all properties was inadequate. Again, with Windmill Farm 2, the entity elected not to take on liability cover. And with Wind Farm 4, we saw that the deductibles across board exceeded the maximum limits that had been set by investors. I will now hand over the benefits of the current, the costs. My apologies, I haven't touched on the cost. Overall, we have viewed the cost of the current insurance being the present value of the future benefits to be reasonable compared to the benefits that the insured will enjoy in the future. I will now hand over to Neo, who will elaborate on the red flags and highlight some of the issues that need to be addressed.
Thank you, Masichaba. I think one of the major things that we saw with this entity was, or what we were able to notice, but there were some red flags. Like lightning risk on Farm 2 and 3 was quite a risk that was not considered, especially considering the situation of those farms. There was also little to no security, and the maintenance reports have shown to be declining. There was also a low score on corporate governance and insufficient insurance cover for a single loss limit less than the desired by the investor. Thank you.
In addition to this, another red flag that we noted was that the insured did not have any fire protective measures in place. And especially in the case of the two properties that are in the Northern Cape, being a very dry area, this is a potentially high risk that the insured has not considered to mitigate.
If I can also add to that, Christelle, if I could also add to that, we also realized that the farms were also connected to substations, which could also cause fires.
In conclusion, we would not recommend to invest as it is in this investment. We would rather have some remedial action take place before an investment takes place. Thank you.
Thank you, team. Well done on the timekeeping. I think not a bad presentation. I'm going to hand over to Shivan for his views.
Thanks, Simon. Actually, not a bad presentation at all. Well done. So you referred to Wind Farm 2 not having third-party liability cover. Explain why that is, underlying reason, please.
So we reviewed then the current insurance policy cover for Wind Farm 2. And if you look at that, the insured has elected only Section A and B. This is on page 18 of the information provided.
So one of the first things I said, or the last things I said as we finished, was attention to detail. If you look at that page, please go down towards the bottom of that page. You'll see something else. Anything?
Policy 2.
Correct.
So it would only have been the political violence that's not covered.
Correct. Having said that, you did notice the political violence cover was not there. Correct.
I'm sort of interested in, Christelle, if you could just clarify the remedial actions that you'd like to see before considering this investment ready.
I would most definitely have a look at specifically, like Simon said, we cannot fix governance in a quick go, but there should definitely be a plan of action in place to say this is what we are planning to do to fix this, and link that to a timeline.
So do you have an idea of the remedial actions?
I didn't think about exactly what I want them to do yet, no.
So you don't look at what's wrong with the governance and then think about how to fix it.
Yeah, that would be the obvious answer, yes.
Neo, you've been very quiet so far in the answering the questions. You're hopefully getting older and wiser as we go through. We had three things that we were looking for: the red flags, the ESG profile, but also a view on what the total premium cost would be. Have you or your team thought of that?
That's actually the point that we were supposed to go into, the premium, and we didn't get a chance to do that.
You didn't get a chance to do that.
Sorry, Neo, we're just trying to draw you into the conversation here because it feels like you're blending into the background. But what do you think some of those issues could be when you've got such a big employer in a small community?
I think one of the things that I could pick up was that the dignity and governing body also did or scored quite low. So in terms of how are they attending to it, I think they should, as much as they are exposing themselves or the community to them.
Yeah, I don't have any other particular questions, Knox.
No, thanks, Simon. They've given us quite a lot to think about.
All right, thank you. Siobhan?
Not done.
All right, thank you, team. We'll deliberate and get back to you. Okay, so early thoughts?
So yeah, I was looking for attention to detail. I think that team was significantly better prepared. They at least found 3 out of the 6 red flags, and explained why they found it as well.
It is clearer who the winning team should be, and I think I support what you're saying, but it doesn't feel like the weakest link is in the losing team.
I knew you were going there.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly what you're saying. So absolute star, we can all agree on that. Shot the lights out today.
And real attention to detail.
Absolutely. And you're right, we agree on who is the winning team and who isn't. However, there's a person who just did not show up today.
What about this team though? They were struggling a little bit with capacity.
Well, yeah, I think the wrong decision was made.
Correct.
In terms of going lean, and I guess there's kind of a real life example of what happens so often in business.
The advice at the start was also collaborate.
Absolutely.
It was very myopic. However, it now brings us to a very interesting point. Do we look at them as individuals, considering the dynamics that played out?
You mean rather than as teams?
We run the risk of someone skating through.
Yeah.
Purely on the backs of
the fact
team
that
members.
they were in the top
Absolutely.
team.
Skating through to the final, no less.
Yes.
Wow.
At this stage of the contest.
Yeah. We've thrown the idea around of not having a winning group, but I think we agree that there is a winning group today. Unfortunately, we've got a bit of a passenger in one of the groups. But I think it's clear to me who needs to go today.
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement.
All right, good. Let's bring them back in. All right, thank you, teams, for your presentations. There was definitely a lot of food for thought there, not just in terms of content, but in the structure and the delivery. I'm going to hand over to Shivan now to give his input.
Thanks, both teams. I think you both did a lot of work there. But for me, one team did better in understanding the red flags and providing the underlying reasons for why those were. And the other team did better in terms of looking at the ESG aspect of things and the underlying aspects there. And something that keeps coming back to me is the fact that our industry is about people and skills. And I can't help but think that the team of 2 were a little bit hamstrung.
Are you sure you want me to do this?
Please. Don't hold back.
Guys, ziyakhala manje. I went on a rant last week about you guys showing up and really bringing your A game, and this being an advanced stage of the contest. You know, every week is sort of this new opportunity to take the learnings from the previous week, apply them, and show up as a better version of yourself. There's an individual that is just, we're not seeing that. And unfortunately, I have to be the person to do it. So now I have to ask you, what do you think your value was today?
Yeah, I don't think I did add much value.
Do you think you deserve to go on to the next round?
Yes, I do.
Even though admittedly you didn't add value today.
Yes.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Molatelo,
Yes, Simon.
do you think that played a role today, that it was just the two of you?
I don't know if it would have been an easier role, but I know that we did face challenges, especially with the time and trying to multitask. Look, I think it might have helped to have someone else because of the time, and you know, two heads are always better than one. That's the correct expression. So, yeah, I think it did also affect us to a certain extent.
All right, thank you. I just want to come back to Team B. Perhaps if you'd spent more time on the premium issues and a little bit more time on the ESG. And Nao, this is really where I had an issue with that particular presentation. I felt like I was kind of throwing, hints out at you just to see if you had any sort of depth of knowledge into some of those ESG issues. And you didn't have a good response to that, and that was very disappointing. But at the end of the day, we have to pick a winning team. We did feel, of course, that Team B did better in the task. I think that what really nailed it for you was the fact that you suggested that this was a potential investment for this private equity firm, but that before any investment could be made, remedial action needed to be put in place. And that is where Team A, you absolutely fell by the wayside, because in spite of hopping around, you didn't hit all of the points. The outcome that you came back with was something that actually puts our business at risk. And that is that we should make that investment and look at some of these remedial things afterwards. That is a very, very dangerous move to make for a private equity firm. Wayne, I think that when I spoke to you before you made the decision, when you were at the top of that leaderboard, I did point out to you what the risks were. You made the decision, a self-serving decision. This is a competition, so we can't hold it against you. You made a decision, and I cannot help but wonder if your team wouldn't have arrived at a different decision, and if you wouldn't have been able to get through more of the work, the red flags, the premiums, and come up with a different decision if you'd had 3 people in your team instead of 2. We live in a world of accountability. And as the leader who chose the team, you have to be accountable for the position that your team finds itself in. Wayne, you are the next person to leave the Insurance Apprentice 2022. I will say this to you. You've done yourself proud to have made it this far. But at the moment when it mattered most, you've come up short. I'm afraid your time with us ends here. Goodbye. Molatelo,
Yes, Simon.
do you think that was a fair outcome?
It was a really tough outcome. To be very honest, and I'm not trying to be diplomatic, at the end of the day, this is a competition. And I half understand where Wayne was coming from when it comes to eliminating someone. It means that you're a step closer to, also you're a step further in the competition, but it does also affect the team.
We're not at that stage of the competition now where you can carry the whole thing on your back. You have to rely on your teammates to make the right decisions and to carry their weight. Team B, I think all round a better presentation, although Shivan, I think, was a little upset that you didn't get to all of the points in the brief. And we know that there wasn't a lot of time. Nao, I mean, it really was not your day, and you find yourself moving into the finale, arguably by luck, because you've landed up in the winning group today, which is possibly not the fairest outcome for someone like Wayne, but he found himself in the losing team, and by his own design, that team lost. Well done to Masachaba and Christelle. I think you carried the team to victory there, so you can pat yourselves on the back. And I look forward to seeing our 4 finalists in the Season 8 finale, which will be happening next week. Be sure to bring nothing but your A game, because you'll come face to face with the most grueling challenge of this season. Shivan, I'd like to thank you, for your input today. I think it was a brilliant task. We wrap up this episode with many thanks to our episode sponsor, Marsh, as well as to our studio sponsor, Old Mutual Insure. And to our viewers, thank you very much for tuning in. Just for watching, you stand a chance to win your share of cash prize giveaways. And that's all that's left to do now, is to like our page, share each episode on Facebook, and answer the weekly question. This week's question is, which conference is included in the winner's prize package? We're closer than we've ever been to revealing the Season 8 winner. Next week is the season finale, and the battle to become the face of the short-term insurance industry toughens. Next week, we do away with our cozy virtual studio setup, and our top 4 contestants will be joining us live at the Discovery Building in Sandton for a special season finale episode, where only one mammoth task will stand between our contestants and their hopes of becoming the insurance apprentice. No more hiding behind their cameras. Next week, they stand face to face with the judges for their final challenge, whereafter we crown the Insurance Apprentice 2022. You do not want to miss this. Once again, thank you to my guest judge, Knox Dlamini. Until then, goodbye.